like these other guys.
You're not like these other guys?
No.
You sure?
100%.
Are you worse?
No. Look at me. Look at me. You think I'm bothered what I look like?
I think you're amazing.
Thank you. Well, thank you. I don't care what I look like.
And that's what makes you different. Dave, I've got to start this conversation off with an apology because we did an absolute cracker the other week.
Yeah, I remember.
Sorry, I'm so happy it was that boring for you. You can't remember.
No,
but it was good for me.
I remember actually.
And there was no sound.
It was probably good that it wasn't. There was no sound really.
There was a lot of sound.
No, what I was saying is it probably good worked out well because I did think, bloody hell, when that goes out.
You know what you did do? You schooled me on Justice Honey. Because I was the one I wasn't too sure about him going into that fight.
I told you, box, yeah.
Really laid it out. You talked about his amateur pedigree, who he's actually won in the amateurs, who he's actually boxed as a pro.
But I still thought he'd get knocked out though.
You did, yeah, you did say that, and you were spot on. Yeah. Can you walk me through that fight and the fact that your prediction was so?
No, Hooney's good and experienced.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the physicality for the top level. Fabio Wardley, I don't think is the top level. I think he's got high level punching power, he's super tough, but he hasn't got any experience, and you need that at the top. Hooney isn't a top class heavyweight, but he's a top class boxer, so he was always going to outbox Wardley for a period of time. I thought maybe 5 or 6 rounds, it ended up being 10. They both got what the other man likes. You know, Hooney likes what Wardley's got in terms of physicality, toughness, and Wardley likes the experience. That's all, his experience really. So. You know, Wardley, I like Wardley, I'm a big fan of him, he's exciting and all the rest of it, but when he goes in with a real top-class heavyweight, Cabell, Parker, Joshua, Fury, he's going to struggle because he hasn't got the experience. No other reason than that.
Can I ask you about his defence? Can you talk to me about a heavyweight boxer's defence?
Defence is what takes time.
Educate a fool, Dave.
Get a random man in here, yeah? He can hit anyone. You can get anyone can throw a punch in it. Anyone can throw a punch. But no one here that's not trained can defend. Defence takes time. Defence takes a lot of time. Anyone can throw a punch. Anyone. You know, so Fabio Wardley been doing the game a long time now and he has got better. In his textbook does some nice things, but experience is a different matter altogether. Ring craft, you know, it's a different thing altogether. I'm not the greatest fighter though, but defensively I'm very good because I've been doing it a very long time, and I have natural good reflexes and stuff that are just born in you. So same with Hooney. Like Hooney's got loads of good things going for him, but he's never going to go to the top because he hasn't got the physicality. So
when you talk about physicality, elaborate on that, Dave.
Strength, physical strength,
right?
Punching power.
Right.
If he could punch, Wardley wouldn't have lasted 4 or 5 rounds.
Okay.
His levels and that, I'm not the highest level either, but they're not. Because of different reasons to me. That's just the game how it is. I spar the very best, I spar the ones that are near the top but aren't the best, I spar the ones in the middle, I spar the ones that are below the middle. It usually comes down to physicality. And that's why Wardley beat Hooney. His physicality, the heavyweight division is more important than the other stuff, in my opinion. But if you've got both, he goes to the top.
Well, you know, when you talk about physicality, we're talking about strength. So don't you think that there's... All right, you're always taking me to school. And you're always teaching me things I thought I knew, but you're debunking a lot of stuff that's in my head. Yeah. Physicality is important as a heavyweight, right? You've just established that.
Heavyweight, but heavyweight, I think.
Heavyweight, we're talking about heavyweights. Yeah. So what takes a real heavyweight to the top when that physicality meets somebody that's not necessarily got the punching power, but they've got the IQ? School me on that, Dave, because I always thought boxing wins, not necessarily physicality.
No, like... Hooney would have put a heavyweight that could punch over there would have put Wardley over and it would have been done. Hooney couldn't do that, so Wardley was tough enough to get through it and then landed. Hooney doesn't take a punch that well, does he? Against someone that punches like that. And not many people would stand up to Wardley cracking them, but Hooney's not going to go to the top. I'm not saying that like I am, because I'm not, because I like speed of hand and foot and I like a few other things. So I'm not pulling anybody down. It's just how it is.
But I can accept your opinion because you're the one that's in the ring doing it.
Fury's massive. He has the physicality, he has the strength, he has the size. He also has the ability. And that's why he's at the very top. Because he has both. Anthony Joshua the same. Usyk the same. Usyk's not even big, but he's strong enough. He's agile. You know, he isn't massively powerful. But it's like he's fit and he's fast and different, yeah. Like you got to have a 10. You got to have a few 10 out of 10s to go to the very top, or you got to have a whole bunch of 8s. Do you know what I mean? Like Caballero's just a row full of 8s. Do you get me?
Yeah. And we saw
a row full of 5 and 6s.
You reckon?
With an odd 10 punch resistance and strength. But my foot speeds are 1 or a 2, so I'm never going to go to the top. Because I've got fucking some 1s and 2s in there. But I've got some 9s and 10s. So when you got Johnny Fisher, who's got like a couple of 1s and 2s, my 9s and 10s have wiped him out because of his 1s and 2s. You get me? That's how I
understand.
That's how I look at it.
Levels.
There's levels to it, yeah. And certain styles, like my 9 and 10 there, that aligns with his being a 1 and 2, and that's a big problem for that. And I hit him, and my 9 and 10 fucked his 1 and 2 up. Going around the houses with it, but
no, it's like a practical approach,
I'm trying to dumb it down the most I can. Not
Thanks.
for you.
No, I
but
understand.
People watching that don't really watch the boxing, or just watch it as a casual fan who likes watching fighting. That's how I see it. That's how I see things.
All right then, we've got a couple of fights that crossing over now.
Yeah.
Talking about Queensbury, we've got Moses Ituama versus your old opponent, Dillian White. So break that down for us. I need the Dave Allen opinion on this. I've been waiting to get this opinion off you because of what you said about Fabio and Justice.
Yeah. It's difficult with Dillian White, like you line your numbers up.
Yeah.
The problem with this is Dillian White's numbers aren't what they used to be. And
Okay.
that's where this fight is now. The best Dillian White against this young kid, as great as he is, who's not there yet. Even Dillian White's a big favourite. He was the top 5, top 10 heavyweight in the world, wasn't he?
He was.
But he's not no more. Because
Okay.
you can't be after having 3 fights in 4 years. It's impossible.
Jesus.
So Dillian White is a very good body puncher, has a good left hook, he's a very hard man. But he's 37 years of age, had 3 fights in 4 years, so you have to go with the younger, fresher man, Ituama, who has loads of 8s, 9s and 10s, but a lot of question marks as well.
Talk to me about his question marks, Dave.
His chin's not been it back. His chin, we don't know, we can't even give that a number. He's shown a few frailties in terms of getting frustrated. I thought it was overthinking Espindola fights.
Okay.
Whether that's age, experience, I don't know, but there was question marks over him. But is Dillian White at 37 inactive, the man to question that? I'm not too sure, to be honest.
Okay, I'll take that. Philip Hrgovic versus David Adeleye.
Another interesting one, because Adeleye, we all think of Adeleye as some big bad superstar. He hasn't really beat anybody. The Zhang one was questionable, and the rest of it, Dempsey McKean got flattened by Ituama in one. And who has he beat, really? No one, really. He's a big bogeyman, weren't he, for ages, and everyone thought he's not actually that good, really, on a world level. Yeah, so he starts favour against Adeleye because we think, look, he's world class at Hrgovic, but he's not, is he? Never has been. Not proven, so...
Hrgovic risk? Big risk?
Big risk. Adeleye can punch, yeah. Adeleye was getting outboxed by TKV, so you have to question what Hrgovic can do with him, but Adeleye can punch and Hrgovic is there to be hit. TKV's a lot more clever than you think. TKV's not bad.
I said that.
Yeah, TKV's better. TKV's a lot better than people think.
Because he did show some boxing in there, and you've got to have the answers when you...
TKV for a big man can box.
Was that a fight that you'd like to have?
It's a fight that could be next for the British title. Yeah.
Right, okay, because I heard Eddie potentially talking about that
I don't
fight.
underestimate him, because I know I'm aware what TKV is. TKV is pretty similar to me. I know what he is.
Right.
He's a lot more skilled than you think. You get past our flabby exterior, and I see a good fight with a very good jab. You know, he's clever.
To the head, to the body, the variation of it.
I'm not sure that I'm a good stylistic match for him. I think he's a good match for me. Personally. He may think the same of me, but I'm one of the strongest heavyweights in the world, and his feet aren't the fastest. So if anyone who stands in front, literally any heavyweight in the world wants to stand in front of me, I'll punch holes in him. And I think he's a good style for me, but he has a very good jab, but as do I. We're very similar, but I think I'm stronger. I think I'm bigger and stronger. I'm naturally a much bigger man, but...
Experienced as well? The experience counts for that, doesn't it?
A lot of amateur experience. I had 10 amateur fights. He probably had nearly 100 at a very good level. So he's experienced enough. But for me, I'm a big, strong man, and I'll do 12 rounds or I'll do 100 rounds. So I think I'm a bad stylistic match for him personally. So I'll be confident in the fight. But at the same time, I know he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter because I watched a lot of him. I watched him fight Beloz in Poland. I was impressed with him, and I kept my eye on him since. He's a good fighter. I like him because he's skilled.
You know, you said that you're potentially talking about it. What kind of timescale could we be looking at for that?
There's a fight. That's the fight there. The British title in September's possibility. But I've been
Under Conor Ben Eubank undercard.
I've been asked to fight one of the top 10 heavyweights in the world.
You joking?
I said I was interested in the fight. I said we are. So we're waiting on that. And
what a resurgence your career's had, Dave.
I want to beat Johnny Fisher. So I'm fully aware that there's a big gap from Johnny Fisher to even TKV. Never mind this other guy. So I'm not stupid, but I'm fit. I'm in the gym. I'm sharp.
You're hungry for this.
I'm mentally better than I've ever been.
Yeah.
So I can compete with any heavyweight in the world. I'm not saying I can beat him, so I don't believe that's the case. I don't think I'm fast enough, big enough, but I can compete with anybody. I can take anybody 12 rounds and give them an hard 9.
How much do you want it?
I want to give my kids a nice life. That's it.
Right.
That's it. That is my
so that
life.
is it.
Yeah. No. I'm not.
What about for you?
No. Because that don't get me out of bed in the morning.
Okay.
But I want to give them a nice life. I want to make loads of money for them. That's it. And I'll do it for them. I won't do it for them, but I'll do it for them.
Does that drive make you more dangerous than you were years ago?
It makes me fitter and sharper and better at fighting. Better at boxing.
Yeah.
That's it. It just makes me better at boxing. Nothing else.
So talk to us about what's he calling you? He's calling you his protege, Pat Brown then? He's doing bits, isn't he?
Fighter, very good fighter. Very, very good. Very, very... Like I say, he's only a young pro, so I wouldn't call him skilled. Like, I'm well skilled through experience, like Fabio Wardley. Pat's had a lot of amateur experience, but Pat's a physical phenom. He's unbelievable athlete. Fast and powerful and strong.
He looks like a heavyweight, to be honest, but yeah.
He has it, but, he can be world champion. He can be world champion, but he just has to learn, which he was in the right place for it.
I'm going to ask you about the Olympics and fighters. I think I'm going to finish off on this one. Delicious Ori came into boxing, this dubbed to be a super...
Yeah, but another athlete.
All right, go on.
Another athlete that was manufactured into being a boxer.
Another one? Who's the other one?
There's loads of them. Absolutely loads of them.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of respect for the list. It's insane. Like, I'm not cut out for this. I can't do it. I've got respect to a man that does that. Brilliant.
All right.
That's braver than staying in there and fighting.
What, do you think he could have known that before he decided to go pro? And this is me as a...
He did the pro boxing with the small gloves on, with a big heavy journeyman who was a fucking hard bastard and thought, fuck that, I can't do this. Did a camp as a pro boxer. It's a hard game. Anthony Joshua gets stick with always a manufactured boxer. Probably is. He is athlete first, boxer second. But he works at his craft and he ends up being a top world-class boxer as well.
Is that what cuts, when you talk about real fighting men, is that what makes the difference between, like you said, the athletes that turn into boxers and the fighters that turn into boxers?
Don't get me wrong, like, I'm a fighter.
I know you are.
But, like, not a good athlete. And then you got Anthony Joshua, not a fighter, a natural fighter like me, I wouldn't say. I'm not a natural fighter, I'm a natural boxer. I have natural timing and I can naturally get me. If you throw something at me, I'll get the fuck out of the way of it. That's how I am. I'm like a cat. But he's been manufactured, but he worked so hard and he made himself good.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
Tyson Fury's a natural boxer.
Yep.
Not a fighter. Anthony Joshua's probably a tougher bloke than me. Natural boxer, not a natural boxer.
I understand.
It was fucking hard as nails, the Klitschko fight and stuff. I gave Joshua a lot of stick over the years, but over time, with experience, we knew each other and we were sparring partners, but that's a different story. Over time, as I learnt more about boxing and got a bit more in tune and educated with it, I understood things a lot better.
Do you feel like you owe him an apology for the stick that you gave him?
I don't owe nothing, no. And he don't owe me nothing either.
And that's the fighting talk?
And no. And that's how it is. I've got a lot of respect for him, and I'd like to think he respects me as well. But, yeah.
Well, it'd be nice to know if he does, but I'm sure you do a lot more interviews than he does. But listen, Dave Allen, what I will say about you is your knowledge. I speak to a lot of fighters, and not a lot of them study the sport.
No.
They're not really pugilists of the sport. They do the sport, but they're not pugilists. But your knowledge, really. Your knowledge around the fights, and like you've mentioned the fight that Jeamie was in the amateurs.
Yeah.
That I didn't know about.
No, a lot of amateur experience. Yeah, he's a good fighter.
It's like you're actually involved in boxing.
No, I live it and breathe it. I manage fighters, train fighters, and that's all I do really. I'm a dad and a boxing man. There's nothing else to me really.
There's a lot to you, mate.
Well,
there is.
Yeah.
And we love it.
Thank
you.
I'm
going to let you go because there's a queue for you.
I've got to do.
Yeah, popular man, it, yeah?
Well, I'll try.
Dave,
thank you.
Until the next time, I'll be at Manchester.
I'll be there in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'll see you in Manchester. Dave Allen, everybody.
Bye-bye.
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.